So now, ladies and gentlemen, we will move on to the next agenda. Another exciting topic to listen to, especially when we are in this current situation of pandemic. Yeah. So we would like to welcome Puan Hazlinda Abdul Hamid, Head of SME Banking, Community Financial Services Malaysia, who will walk us through on the topic SME Entrepreneurship, Opportunities and Challenges Post-Pandemic. The stage is all yours, Puan Hazlinda.
Thank you, Naufal. Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to all. Salam sejahtera. Terlebih dahulu saya ingin ucapkan terima kasih kerana sudi memberi saya peluang untuk berkongsi sedikit tentang PKS di negara kita dan juga dengan Maybank. Ya. Okay, so I will be conversing or sharing in dua bahasa. Ya. I hope you all don't mind, right? Okay, can I have the next slide please? So, saya dah 25 tahun sebenarnya dengan Maybank dan all the while memang saya dalam business banking dan juga SME banking. So, daripada saya mula join Maybank sampailah sekarang, actually saya sebenarnya I'm a graduate, teaching graduate by profession, but Alhamdulillah because of a Maybank policy very open, dia allow graduate in any discipline. So when I applied, I got a job in the Maybank and I've been with Maybank ever since 25 years already. Okay, that's a little bit about me. Okay, next slide. Okay, saya akan berkongsi tentang PKS hari ini dan before saya share lebih mendalam tentang PKS, I just like to share a little bit about the definition of SME or PKS in the country. Kenapa definisi ni penting? Sebab kita nak make sure that kita boleh bandingkan PKS negara kita dengan negara lain dan bukan itu saja, bila kita ada definisi ni, kita juga boleh memberi bantuan dan nasihat kepada PKS berdasarkan segmen dia dan keperluan dia. So dalam negara kita, PKS dibagikan kepada micro, small dan medium ataupun micro, perusahaan kecil dan perusahaan medium. Dan lebih mendalam lagi dikategorikan sebagai sektor pembuatan dan sektor perkhidmatan. Jadi macam mana kita differentiatekan PKS dalam negara kita ni juga berdasarkan dia punya jualan. Ya, sales turnover dia ataupun bilangan tenaga pekerja yang full-time employee. So if I can just relate to this slide here, for a micro enterprise, you need to be minimum sales turnover of 300,000 ringgit or having a full-time employee of not more than 5. And for a small enterprise, your sales turnover for a manufacturing, pembuatan, your jualan is from 300,000 kepada 15 juta atau having a full-time employee from daripada 5 kepada less than 75. And in terms of servicing, service industry for small, sales turnover dia 300,000 kepada 3 juta ataupun having a full-time employee from 5 to less than 30. And last but not least, we have the medium industry, which is a turnover of 15 million to 50 million, 15 kepada 50 juta dan full-time employee of 75 to 200 staff. And untuk kategori servis atau perkhidmatan, sales turnover dia ialah 3 juta kepada 20 juta dan full-time employee daripada 30 kepada 75 full-time employee. So that's overall the definisi untuk PKS dekat negara kita. Dan also like to share of all the business registered in Malaysia, 97.2%, 97.2% the business established or registered in Malaysia is made up of SME. So banyak SME dalam negara kita dan to date as at 2020, 2020, based on SME Corp and Department of Statistics survey and data, we have 1.15339 SMEs registered in Malaysia as at 2020. Yeah? And based on the report, every year on year, since since 2015, if I'm not mistaken, the numbers of SME established is on the increasing trend. Yeah? Every year is about 4 to 4.9% annually, and even during the pandemic last year, there was an increase in the SME registered in Malaysia. And why the SME is important? The SME atau PKS, they contribute to 38% of our GDP. 38%, dan bukan itu saja, the PKS ataupun SME segment provide employment to 48% employment untuk tenaga kerja di negara kita. So that's a lot. So banyak, and because of this, the PKS ataupun SMEs, they are the nadi or the heart of the emerging or developing economies of the country, and it is the engine of growth. And because of that, kita in our country, I think a lot of the initiatives by the government to focus on the SME dan juga di Maybank. Yeah? So di Maybank, we are very passionate about the SME, and we have a dedicated team which is under my shop or under my department, really focusing on the SME and the real small SME, the retail SME. So we service the SME that is as small as a micro, and pinjaman yang kita bagi kepada PKS ini as small as RM10,000. So dalam di Maybank, we serve 57% of the nation SME. So di Maybank, klien kami atau pelanggan kami is consists of more than 57% of all the SMEs that are registered in Malaysia. Dan from the industry, for medium, we have 16.9% yang ada financing dengan kita. From the small category, we have 8%. And micro, which is the largest, 78% of the population in the SME segment, which makes up about 900,000 of the total SME established. For Maybank, we have about 3.4%. Yeah, so for the SME by sector, majority of them is in the perkhidmatan ataupun services sector, which is 85%, and construction 7.4%, excuse me, manufacturing 5.1%, dan agriculture 1.7%, and mining and quarrying at 0.3%. So you can see that dekat sini kita memang banyak pelanggan-pelanggan dengan Maybank yang sama ada dia ada pinjaman atau tidak ada pinjaman. Kalau dia tak ada pinjaman, maknanya dia ada services lain dengan Maybank. Dan we during this current situation sekarang ni, kita sangat-sangat appreciate dan sangat-sangat passionate to help the SME in the country. Okay, next, I share with you nanti apa yang kita lakukan atau yang kita buat untuk the PKS di dalam Maybank, ya. Okay, so ini just very brief. The next slide ni is just about 68% of our customer yang ada pinjaman adalah daripada micro segment. So Maybank nampak macam a very big setup, memang we are, but kita tidak tinggal segment micro ni. Dan of course not only micro, the small and the medium also. Tapi fokus kami dekat department saya memang kita fokus dekat micro enterprise dan juga perusahaan-perusahaan kecil, ya. For both customer yang ada pinjaman dan tidak ada pinjaman. And majority of kita punya pelanggan adalah daripada sektor wholesale retail, ya. Wholesale retail dan juga manufacturing based on this graph. Okay, next. Okay, next slide. Okay, saya dah 25 tahun dekat Maybank dan berkecimpung dalam bidang SME. This is the first time. This is the first time that we are facing this challenge with the SME. Kalau tengok kat sini, ada yang gulung tikar, ada yang tutup. Excuse me. So, yeah, this is the situation that we are in now. And banyak yang tutup, banyak yang temporary tutup, dan mereka mengalami banyak rintangan lah, challenges, ya. in the country. Okay, so next. Okay, the challenges that they face dalam keadaan pandemik sekarang, dia dibagi kepada 5 kategori. Di bahagian financial, kewangan, bisnes, perniagaan, warga kerja, tenaga kerja, supply chain dan teknologi. So dekat financial, apa yang mereka hadapi sekarang ialah business down, dia tak cukup volume, dan dia mengalami masalah kewangan yang kita ada sebab dia tak dapat nak generate dia punya cash flow, ya. Sebab apa? Sebab dia punya business hours shorter. I think kita pun tahu, based on the SOP you boleh buka up to certain number of hours, tapi sekarang I think recently the few days there is easing of the business. Jadi hari ni I rasa dah banyak business yang dah buka. So dekat sini kita boleh tengok one of the reason dekat under the challenges under the financial, mereka perlukan financial incentive dengan assistance daripada bank dan juga agensi-agensi kerajaan, ya. Kenapa mereka perlukan ni? Sebab cost of doing business dah increase. Ya, cost untuk dia orang buat bisnes dah increase sebab supply kekurangan. Kenapa supply kekurangan? Sebab banyak businesses bukan saja dekat Malaysia, dekat negara luar juga telah tutup. So therefore yang mana yang yang depend kepada imports, yang depend kepada other suppliers, the supply chain tu dah impacted. Bila supply chain impacted, harga atau demand pada barang pun harga akan mengalami kenaikan. So and they have to face the challenges of also not being able to open their business. Remember the last few months dalam MCO 3.0, only essential business yang boleh buka. Jadi dalam keadaan macam ni, the PKS atau the SME, they have to be agile. Dia kena tangkas. So yang saya nampak SME yang tangkas, yang agile, yang cepat boleh diversify business dia dan cepat boleh bertukar dia punya business model, dia punya sustainability or viability of the business tu lebih stronger, ataupun dia boleh bersaing atau boleh sustain business dia. Jadi apa yang dia lakukan ialah, saya tengok some of the SME, dia tidak depend kepada retail atau brick and mortar saja. So dia kena cepat embrace kepada digitalization untuk reach out to dia punya customer. So they have to actually embrace digital platform in terms of they have to collaborate with an e-commerce and platform owner, so that they can actually sell their goods and their services even though the business is not open or not allowed to open. Yeah. So ada customer, like kita tahu hard hit industry tourism kan, bila tourism industry sampai sekarang tak semua yang boleh buka. Kita tahu kat Langkawi there is a bubble, bubble that they allow for limited and based on certain guideline, but the rest of the other areas in terms of tourism industry is still not open. So dia tak ada transaksi sekarang ni, dia tak ada transaksi, dia tak ada business. Jadi they are badly impacted. So how do we assist them, kan? Macam mana dia nak survive sekarang ni? And the related industries to the tourism industry, macam travel agent, macam orang yang supply bas-bas persiaran. Jadi di sinilah sangat penting untuk diorang cepat bertukar dan change dia punya business model. So if I can relate to my experience, or ada satu klien kita, pelanggan kita, dia dalam travel agency, dan dia juga ada satu lagi dia punya strength atau kekuatan dia is into staff-staff dia sangat maju atau sangat mahir dalam digitalization. So bila keadaan ini berlaku, saya nampak daripada dia meniaga ataupun berterusan untuk provide travel agency punya business, dia terus bertukar kepada providing the e-platform atau e-commerce untuk SME, and dia berikan ataupun perkhidmatan ini at kadar atau kos yang berpatutan dan affordable to the SME, helping the SMEs. So I can see a lot of the larger SME, they are also helping the smaller SMEs during this time. So the supply chain, the ecosystem, helping each other in the business community is very important for the survival of the SME. Another example that I can share with you all here today is the travel agency juga. Dia provide service umrah dengan haji. So bila sekarang ni kan dia tutup and a very limited number of people that can go for umrah and haji. So what they do now is that dia import kurma, dia import nuts, dia import barang-barang daripada Saudi Arabia dan supply dekat sini, and they also use the e-commerce platform untuk reach out to the client. Okay, so these are some of the challenges lah yang the company or the PKS berhadapan. And in terms of tenaga kerja pula, some of them because of tak cukup business, jualan tak cukup, kos naik sebab they have to incur cost untuk sanitization, untuk testing, dan juga untuk kalau let's say dia punya tenaga pekerja kena PUI ataupun dia COVID positif, jadi dia kena hantar untuk testing and all that. So that has actually increased dia punya cost of doing business. Jadi some of them secara tak langsung ataupun terpaksa memberhentikan pekerja-pekerja mereka. Tapi saya nampak dalam survey yang kami buat dekat Maybank, only a certain portion of the SME atau PKS yang berhentikan pekerja dia. Sebab bila kami interview, kita tanya dia, kenapa you tak berhentikan walaupun business down? Dia kata, we don't expect that the situation will persist, and we expect that the situation will improve. So jadi bila improve ataupun bila MCO is uplifted, they expect that they must keep this tenaga kerja, because tenaga kerja is their asset. They need this skill ataupun they need these people who are experienced to make sure that when business is okay, they are there to assist the company to rebound. So that is what we saw ataupun what we know from the customers dekat Maybank. And different business, different type of industry will require different time to rebound their business and also their cash flow. So kalau dulu dia mungkin ada savings, dia mungkin ada alternative source of business, dia punya cash flow mungkin better. Dia boleh bertahan selama 6 hingga 12 bulan ataupun dia boleh tahan hanya 1 hingga 3 bulan. Yang ini yang very distress lah, very ketara dia punya kesusahan dia dalam managing dia punya cash flow. And kalau lah uplift the MCO ataupun sekarang ni dah easing of the business, so berapa lama dia boleh rebound balik kepada pre-COVID punya era. So all this is very important, and for Maybank kita kena tahu, sebab bila kita ada informasi ni semua, barulah kita boleh menolong dan membantu SME untuk survive and revive their business during this current challenging period. Okay, next. Okay, so tadi saya bercerita tentang challenges dan isu-isu yang kami hadapi atau PKS hadapi, dan sekarang saya nak berkongsi sikit untuk opportunities kita dekat untuk membantu SME. So paling penting pertama is the repayment assistance yang kita berikan kepada PKS untuk membantu dia bertahan waktu keadaan bisnes yang kekurangan sekarang ni. So apa tu repayment assistance? I think most obvious dekat sini yang mana ada personal loan ke atau consumer loan under HP ke Hazlinda, you tahu, kita tahu that kita ada bagi repayment assistance selama 6 bulan, atau ada package-package lain yang kita bagi untuk membantu pelanggan-pelanggan Maybank daripada both dekat dalam business PKS ataupun individual untuk bertahan dalam masa keadaan susah ni sekarang ni. So dan saya juga nak tekankan kat sini, besides the normal package yang kita ada tu, kalaulah lepas 6 bulan tu masih tak boleh lagi nak berdiri dengan independen dan masih ada problem atau masalah dengan keuangan, kita masih membantu dan menolong pelanggan-pelanggan ni, dan kita akan structurekan dia punya repayment assistance tu kepada untuk lanjutkan ataupun reducekan dia punya installment repayment supaya dia boleh bertahan selanjutnya. ya. Dan bukan saja dalam bentuk repayment assistance, moratorium atau bantuan yang kita bagi, kita juga bagi pinjaman juga. So banyak kadang-kadang kita dengar dekat luar tu, oh the banks are not lending, tapi saya nak bagi tahu kat sini memang kita tak stop lending langsung. In fact, during these 2 years that kita, for me under SME, bertambah sebenarnya pinjaman yang kita beri kepada SME di dalam Maybank dan juga di pelanggan baru Maybank, ya. So because kami faham waktu ni lah paling penting, kita perlu membantu PKS semua sebab they need to survive. And not only that, we need to change the way that bukan saja PKS yang kena agile, bankers pun kena agile. So macam Maybanker, kita pun kena agile sebab kita tak boleh guna measurement dengan assessment yang sebelum COVID dan gunakan benda yang sama untuk assess PKS untuk berikan pinjaman atau repayment assistance waktu zaman pandemik ni. So we need to change and we need to be agile enough to make sure that kita boleh help the SME. So the way that we approach the SME in terms of our assessment, dia punya working capital requirement, the DSR is also revised to make sure that we meet to help the SME. Dan that is on lending. Besides the lending, kita pun ada membantu in terms of non-financial assistance, that is to reach out to the SME, the engagement that kita lakukan untuk memberi pengetahuan kepada SME apakah insentif, apakah bantuan yang kita boleh berikan sama ada di pihak bank ataupun di pihak kerajaan, the government agencies. Bantuan-bantuan yang disediakan oleh kerajaan untuk membantu, ya. Dan seterusnya of course kita promote digital transformation, which my rakan nanti Nio akan cerita lebih lanjut tentang apakah langkah-langkah yang diambil oleh Maybank untuk membantu, ya. Dan of course kita kena juga collaborate dengan government agencies lah. Bank saja tak cukup, kepada customer pelanggan yang not eligible ataupun yang perlukan lebih bantuan, ini kita akan salurkan kepada agensi-agensi kerajaan yang berkenaan. Okay, next. Okay, how does Maybank help the customer? Macam mana kita orang bantu customer? Banyak sebenarnya kita buat, tetapi maybe if I can just sum up in these 3 main points lah, yeah. So for Maybank, we are very passionate into helping the SME, especially in terms of financial inclusion, that is providing access to financing to the PKS or the SME. How do we do this? Okay, I can just share with you. I think Maybank took a very bold step, langkah yang berani. Kalau you all survey, rata-rata kebanyakan banks tidak memberi pinjaman kepada startup. Majority of the bank, 90% or 99% of the banks are giving loans to those yang 3 tahun ke atas. Maknanya you ada track record, you dah ada pelanggan yang tetap, you dah maju sikit, baru bank akan memberikan pinjaman. Tapi untuk Maybank, kalau dah lebih 1 tahun, 1 tahun ke atas you berniaga, especially kalau you ada account dengan Maybank, ataupun even if you tak ada account dengan Maybank, we do provide financing subject to eligibility. Dan kalau lah tak eligible pun, kita tak tinggal you macam tu. Kalau you are not eligible, we will handhold you, we will provide the financial literacy dan capability building for you in future, maybe 6 months down the road, to be eligible for the access to financing. So that's what we do. And we have a digital loan financing scheme that you can apply online, which I will share later macam mana kita buat. So waktu pandemik ni, macam kalau kita dengar rata-rata macam bank tak bagi loan lah, bank mungkin tighten this thing. Tapi for Maybank, Alhamdulillah, last year despite the pandemic, we launched this digital. In September 2020, we launched the digital even though during this difficult time. I thought that it was timely, sesuai dengan keadaan, sebab waktu tu, especially dulu dan tahun lepas dan sekarang, bila kerajaan kata SOP kita ada MCO, banyak yang firm-firm yang tutup, termasuklah accounting firm dan audit firm, kan? accounting firm, audit firm, law firm. So kalau SME ni bila dia nak apply loan, dia kena ada dokumen. Bila dia tak ada dokumen, susah dia nak apply kan. Kalau generally bila you nak minta pinjaman, you mesti ada dokumen, terutama bisnes, sebab kita nak tahu untung rugi tu semua. Tapi dengan Maybank punya digital financing, kita tak perlukan dokumen. Setakat you punya transaksi, you punya data yang you ada, with the machine learning yang kita ada, leveraging on the digitalization, we are able to assist the SME during this difficult time. Kenapa saya relate to this? Because bila accounting dan audit firm tutup, dia tak dapat sediakan perakaunan untuk PKS. Jadi bila tak ada benda ni, macam mana PKS nak apply untuk financing? So bila ada yang digital ni, even if the business is the firm is tutup, even if the company cannot operate, they cannot come to the branch to branch Maybank you can still apply online. Dan kedua, kita partner dengan platform-platform owner e-commerce untuk bercerita atau memberi kesedaran kepada SME untuk onboard them to this e-commerce and platform, sebab they need to have this alternative distribution. Okay, they can have the retail outlet, they can have the kiosk, they can have the brick and mortar, but they also need all this, and they need a alternative way of payment gateway so that they masih boleh berjual walaupun during MCO. So landscape has changed, right, for the SME and also for the consumer. Then third, last but not least, is that for Maybank, kita ada all the digital solution which I akan touch briefly nanti, dan juga kita ada marketplace which is our sama-sama local, ya. So with that, kita boleh juga membantu SME, maknanya SME di dalam komuniti kita ni yang mana dia terpaksa tutup kedai, dia tak boleh reach out, and then for some of them dia tak boleh nak go on Grab food or food panda because mungkin dia punya keuntungan tu tak boleh menampung kos untuk delivery tu. Jadi apa yang Maybank lakukan is that dia bagi alternatif untuk PKS on board on our marketplace sama-sama local, which they can reach out to the client, pelanggan Maybank untuk menjual servis dan barangan mereka. Okay, next. Okay, I mentioned just now briefly that beside financing, kami juga reach out to all the SMEs in our ecosystem and outside our ecosystem with our Zoom webinar, di mana kita share dengan SME cara-cara untuk membantu keuangan mereka dan juga macam mana untuk mendapatkan financing, dan kita juga share dengan mereka various grant yang available untuk pelanggan-pelanggan Maybank dan juga bukan pelanggan Maybank, kat mana dia boleh dapat bantuan selain daripada bank. So not just the bank, dia boleh juga pergi dekat agensi kerajaan. Dan apakah insentif yang dia boleh dapat, macam insentif on wages, insentif on rebate on utility bill, sebab they qualify for all this. So kebanyakan SME dia tak tahu, jadi kita kena bagi informasi ni kepada diorang. Dan beside that, kita ada celik kewangan, financial literacy program, ya. Financial literacy program ni ialah untuk bercerita kepada SME, beritahu mereka dan sharing with them on the kesedaran macam mana nak manage dia punya financial discipline dia. So yang kita nampak kebanyakan PKS ni, especially yang micro enterprise, dia tak dapat bezakan kewangan persendirian dengan kewangan perniagaan dia. Jadi dia kena separate, dia kena be very disciplined, sebab bila ada benda ni, dia boleh become more viable and more successful because dia disciplined. So very important actually for a business owner or entrepreneur to be disciplined in managing their financials and their bookkeeping. Ya, dia kena asingkan perbelanjaan dia, dia kena tahu macam mana nak matchkan dia punya keperluan dia, short term, medium term, long term. So benda-benda ni kita akan share dengan PKS ataupun SME. Okay, next. Okay, tadi saya ada share sedikit on the digital online tu. So untuk PKS di Malaysia dan juga pelanggan Maybank, terutama pelanggan Maybank yang ada account di Maybank, dia boleh apply SME loan, digital loan ni dalam masa 10 minit. 10 minit dia boleh dapat decision approval, especially kalau sole prop dengan partnership, ya. Sole prop dengan partnership, disbursement cepat, as fast as 1 minute kalau dia pelanggan Maybank, dan tak perlukan cagaran. Tak ada cagaran sebab kita faham PKS ni dah lah dia nak start business, dia perlukan modal. Lepas tu kalau you minta cagaran dengan dia, duit cagaran tu lebih baik digunakan untuk perniagaan dia. Jadi sebab kita faham ni, kita kata okey, tak apa PKS, you boleh meminta pinjaman dengan kita without any cagaran, dan you boleh apply online at the comfort of your home while sipping your coffee 24 hours online, anytime, anywhere you boleh apply for the digital financing, and up to 250,000 financing, as low as 10,000 and up to 250,000. And bila saya cakap 250,000 tu bukanlah pinjaman tu setakat 250,000 saja. Dia boleh lebih kepada 250,000, tapi dia kena pergi ke channel-channel branch Maybank yang lain. Okay, next. This is my last slide. Okay, last slide. For the PKS, kita di Maybank, untuk PKS tu berdaya saing dan untuk diorang sustain their business and untuk diorang have that viability, kita unjurkan kepada PKS untuk ada 10 solution ni. Kalau dia ada 10 solution ni, insyaAllah dia boleh majukan perniagaan dia. Sebab 10 solution ni yang kita ada, the online current account, which is the M2U, M2UBs atau M2E, the payroll untuk bayar gaji, kemudahan bayar gaji, duit now, and then of course the forex untuk orang yang beli barang daripada overseas kan, yang import, kita ada kemudahan untuk book the rates online, untuk book rates kalau you deal in US dollar ke renminbi ke, ini untuk you hedge your fund, untuk reducekan risk of the fluctuation of the foreign currency. And then you ada QR Pay Bs, M2U Pay online, sama-sama local. Of course, we have the merchant or credit card facility untuk diorang buat bayaran klien-klien PKS, dan juga Jompi. So, kalau SME PKS ada semua ni, insyaAllah dia boleh sustain their business and be viable in their approach. Okay. Itu saja perkongsian saya hari ini untuk audience hari ini. And Nafal, I'm not sure whether there are any questions.
Yes, of course, Puan Hazlinda, there are questions for you. Okay. So indeed, we have a few questions, Puan Hazlinda. I hope, okay, I'm going to air it out. Okay, soalan pertama berbunyi begini. Apakah nasihat Puan untuk kami sebagai pelajar Politeknik sebelum kami memulakan sesuatu perniagaan kecil? So, what is your thoughts and advice on this?
Okay, thank you for that question. I think this is a very good question. Untuk pelajar-pelajar yang berminat dalam untuk berkecimpung dalam perniagaan, pertama sekali is the financial discipline, the financial literacy. Kena ada knowledge on that. And of course, get yourself equipped with digitalization, the digital marketing, pengetahuan lah. Pengetahuan tu penting. So bila you ada pengetahuan, bila you berkecimpung dalam business, then you will be able to have a lot of alternatives and knowledge to help you when you face challenges. That's one. Second, you start your networking now. Okay, yang mana di pelajar-pelajar sekarang ni, your friends, your lecturers dekat sekarang ni, your kawan-kawan, networking start now, because in doing any business, networking is very important. Yeah, when you need to do business matching, when you need to do, you have networking, you have to cari kan sources, and always keep yourself abreast with the latest on the this thing on entrepreneurship and on the SME untuk pelajar-pelajar. So be disciplined. It starts with yourself first, your own financial discipline. So bila you ada benda tu, bila you berkecimpung dalam perniagaan, insyaAllah you akan ada that characteristic also. Yeah, and kalau ada program-program keusahawanan yang dianjurkan di Politeknik ataupun di akademi, join lah untuk mendengar, because the knowledge and the exposure yang you ada will help you in the future. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for that. Okay, that leads to another question. How can we participate in SME webinar by Maybank?
Okay. Boleh. Are you a Maybank customer? If you are not, maybe next time when I have any webinars, I can share with JPPK, or I can go through you all now, to share the link, because it's open to Maybank and non-Maybank customer. So yeah, and if let's say you all JPPK would like us to arrange for the youth, for entrepreneur program for the youth, which we also do with other institutions, we are more than happy to do it for this institution too.
Sure. So okay,
yes. Sorry, Nafa. I just want to add,
Yeah.
dalam unit saya ada satu unit yang dedicated entrepreneur development. So entrepreneur development ni, they go around the country. Dulu we go around the country lah. Sekarang around the country Zoom webinar to reach out to the SMEs and also to the youth.
All right. Thank you very much for that. So, in the interest of time, we have one last question. Datangnya daripada Kolej Komuniti sendiri. I think it's from PPG, is it? PPK, PCG. Okay, tak apa, I'll get back to you on the name. So, okay. So, dalam zaman pandemik sekarang, adakah risiko untuk membuka cawangan F&B yang baru, walaupun dengan kestabilan cawangan F&B sedia ada yang tidak dijangka?
Okay, terima kasih. Saya suka sangat question ni sebab I'm also very passionate about F&B, sebab saya punya family pun ada business F&B. You'll be surprised, my brother-in-law actually meniaga F&B. He's a chartered accountant. He left accountancy and he started a business in F&B, and he tried many. And dalam pandemik ni, Alhamdulillah for him, dia sales dia increase 30 to 50%. Sales dia, okay, increase. And tapi ada juga yang F&B yang terpaksa tutup kedai ataupun yang ada mengalami masalah. Tapi kenapa dia maju, kenapa dia boleh? Tadi to the question, very important, you need to be agile and tangkas. So what he did is that he quickly went into the platform or e-commerce platform or digital, and he used social media to advertise dia punya makanan. Dia guna TikTok, dia guna IG, dia guna FB, apa saja yang dia ada, and he customize it to the current trend sekarang. So kalau makanan ni, dia ada fad juga, dia ada trend kan, so you kena cepat bertukar. So saya tengok dia dah bertahun dia berniaga, dia tukar ikut keadaan semasa. So very penting, you kena ada e-commerce or digital to reach out your F&B, sebab walaupun you buka sekarang ni, tak ramai orang yang nak datang masuk dine in, and even if you're dine in, your jualan is less, sikit. So you kena expand you punya market to reach out to as many client that you can. Satu. Kedua, of course your variety, quality kena jaga. F&B very important is the quality of the food, because kalau quality tak jaga, next time orang tak order, betul tak? So you must, and then you kena test, you kena make sure. Tadi I mention about knowledge kan, so I must say knowledge is very important, and the networking lah. So untuk you nak this thing on the F&B, you kena tahu knowledge on, make sure that you nak buat F&B ni, you kena bersih, kena toiban kan, supaya nanti you kena boleh maintain your pelanggan. So kena ada knowledge, you kena tahu macam mana nak make sure you ada halal or bersih punya facility untuk provide food for people. And then of course the business matching lah, the networking is also very important, because you need to know suppliers, you need to know, so you kena buat banyak research juga. So insyaAllah kalau you nak berkecimpung dalam F&B, get all these things ready, and wish you all the best. Semoga maju.
Alright, thank you. Thank you, Puan Hazlinda, for the wonderful tips. And again, thank you, Puan Hazlinda. You peeled the topic beautifully and extremely informational and educational as well. So yeah, looking at the pictures you shared just now, it's how devastating and sad to witness those people who have to shut down their businesses. Yeah, and for that, we believe and we shall do our part to drive our sustainability trust to build better for tomorrow for them. Yeah.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you. Inshallah.
I'm gonna cry. Right, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the last topic for today's session, and we are going to close our session today with an interesting topic, which eventually it is evolving around us now. So This topic indeed can give a little bit of view on how the bank evolved together with modernization. With the topic, what's next? The future of banking. Please welcome Mr. New Chun Kiat, Head Digital Financing, Strategic Digital Group PCO Office. So the stage is all yours, Mr. New.
All right. Thank you very much, Napo, and a very good morning to Haji Mohamad, Datuk Nora, and all our fellow attendees today. Right. So it's a bit a challenge for me today. Right. I'm standing between you and lunchtime. Right. So please give me a little bit of support. I try to make these sessions a little bit more interactive. And if ever possible, I will put in some Bahasa language in my presentations, right? So, about this topic, future of banking, right? So, do we really know about the future? Honestly speaking, not exactly easy for us to predict, right? But there's a lot of things that we can see from history, how the banking industry has been evolved from last time till now, right? So maybe can I have the next slide? So in order for us to see what's next in the future, right? So let's first go back to our history, right? So actually banking have been started way back maybe 2000 years before, right? So and how it started is basically it just started from lending your seeds and whatnot with your farmers and whatnot, right? I borrow this, I return to you back next day. But if you're really looking at who is still existing since many years ago, is there's an oldest bank that is still in Italy. It built in 1470 in back in Italy, right? So that is the first formal banks that we can see in the history and still exist today, right? And if you can notice, right, there's so much innovations happening every couple of 100 years. It started up with 100 years, but at the later stage, it's become shorter and shorter, right? So then from 1470, what is the next important milestone is whereby you have the first traveler check, right? So traditionally, you need to use things like commodity, golds, and whatnot for you to do transactions. But there's this gentleman that's very smart, right? That he created this thing called traveler checks, whereby you can just transact using a traveler checks moving forward, right? But traveler check is still very easy to forget. And in 1950, someone has created this thing called charge card, and this is the earliest form of your earliest form of credit cards today, right? And after that, then there's the evolution is saying that, hey, there is this there's this vending machine that can sell a lot of stuff. Why can't we build something like a vending machine to disperse your cash, right? So therefore, in 1960, ATM was born, right? And through time, banking evolved together with technology, right? The communication become more and more easy with the assistance of telephone, internet, and so on, right? In 1980s, there is the telephone and internet banking has started, and in 1990 is whereby the start of the mobile banking, right? And all this have been embedded part and parcel of our life, and this is the basic expectations of a bank that need to be have today, right? So yeah, but after 1990, what's happening, right? So there's this one of our wealthiest gentlemen in the world, right? Bill Gates, right? Next slide, please. Right, he have this started this statement called "Banking is necessary, but banks are not." Right. This statement wasn't being understanding by a lot of people since the last 10-15 years, right? Only people start realizing this around 2010, right? It's after 16 years, people only know what Bill Gates is saying. So what does it mean by banking is necessary and bank are not? So what is banking? Banking is a way for us to improve the transaction between you and me, right? So you want to buy something, I need to make a payment. You need to buy a house, I need a loan, right? But traditionally, if you want to have any of this, what we need is we go to a branch, talk to the officer, and we get the transaction done. But today, how many of you are still stepping into the bank, right? I believe the answer will be hardly, right? There's only certain big transaction that you can't do online, you are going into the bank. So in 1994, Bill Gates already put up this statement, but it's slowly only realizing nowadays, right? besides Bill Gates, who are the another thought leader that have been speaking about this for the longest time? Maybe have the next slide, right? I think it's good that if we can look into one of these thought leader, Brad King, right? He had been start talking about his the future of the banking from his book Bank 2.0, and then go to Bank 3.0, then Bank 4.0, which is the launch in 2020, right? And what is this guy so famous in the industry itself is that he had been able to predict a lot of future trends, right? So for example, in his Bank 2.0, he is predicting that by 2016, the total number of payment transactions through your mobile phone going to be higher than your cards, right? His prediction is by 2016. But of course, his prediction is slightly wrong, but it's only wrong by 1 year. And it's proven that the global transactions using your mobile phone is actually higher than your cards in 2017. So his prediction is very, very accurate, right? And what is one of the things that he is predicting, right? In the Bank 4.0, he's predicting by 2030, half of the branches in United States is going to be disappear, right? Either disappear or it might change to another form, right? But the bank branches is not going to be the same as today, right? So if you look at the title of the Bank 4.0, banking anywhere, but never at a bank. What does it mean? You can do your banking needs on your internet banking, in your mobile banking, and there's a lot of other new players that come into this industry, right? So think about this, right? Apple have been very actively in establishing the Apple Pay throughout the region, right? Google Pay is the same thing. Samsung Pay is the same thing, right? So payment is always the first point of contact where all the player would like to come in to start the business in the banking. All the big giants are starting slowly going into this space, right? And I think another example, you can look into China, right? I think China is in a different era compared to us, right? So I think in Southeast Asia country like ourselves, Thailand, Singapore, right? Our development of mobile banking or the mobile payment is not as rapid as China. Why is it so? So because China have a lost 20 years generation, their banking actually is not very established in the earlier year, right?
Happens?
So they straight away jump from no banking to straight away a mobile driven payment, right? So therefore the way that they establish is actually far ahead of us, right? So if you go to China, there's no way that you need to bring any single cash in the pocket, right? So even you want to make payment in China, they will say, do you have Alipay? Do you have WeChat Pay? That's the only two things they're asking you, right? Don't give me cash, please. And all this trend is going to come true very, very soon, right? But of course, we are still very much driven by a lot of other initiatives. But yeah, can I have next slide, please? Yeah. So maybe let me bring back a little bit to Malaysia today, right? So I mean, we're speaking about the global trend, what are the tech players and whatnot. But look in Malaysia, right? Actually, there is a lot of new development and a lot of players in this space that are challenging how banks doing business. So we as a bank, not just Maybank, any other banks, right? We always have a lot of challenges in terms of moving ahead, right? So we are talking about we have like 40-50 years kind of legacy system, right? We have our central bank, Bank Negara, heavily regulated us to protect you and me interest on the money that we have, right? So some of these guys in the market have made us rethink our strategy. Can we still continue the same practice for the next 5 years, for the next 10 years? Is the bank still to be a bank, or are we still even exist, right? Of course, Maybank, in a sense, we are the largest organizations in Malaysia. We still have a chance, but we need to do something today. But it's a very vibrant scene in Malaysia, right? If you look at this Malaysia FinTech map, and it is kind of a very interesting map, right? This map was first introduced in 2018, January, right? So imagine in 2018, there's only 100 of them in this particular list. And now in early, I think this one is come out in March this year, right? So there's about 233 FinTech company in Malaysia, right? So it has been grown about 1.3 times in just a short span of 3 years. There's so many people that seeing that there's a lot of opportunities that going to interrupt the industry or disrupt the industry, right? So it's kind of making the bank need to rethink our strategy. And I mean, just to share with you some of the big name here, right? I think some of you rather have been using some of their services, especially the e-wallet space, right? Your Grab Pay, your Big Pay, your Boost, and so on, right? Those are the common names. But not sure you all realize or not, right? Malaysia this year have just our first unicorn. And what is a unicorn means, right? It's a company that worth more than $1 billion US. I mean, I'm not sure you all know this company called Custom, right? Custom is a used car platform. But why is it so successful? Because it solved one of the pain points of the financing for the dealer, right? So it's kind of very vibrant scene. That's one example, Custom. And I'm not sure you all can see this. There's this guy called CoinGecko, right? CoinGecko is a blockchain and cryptocurrency startup. They are and he is from Malaysia, yeah? From Malaysia, but for the world. They are the largest aggregator of cryptocurrency informations. So almost everyone who are into cryptocurrency are using CoinGecko as a reference. So what does it mean? Malaysia has the opportunity to build something for the world, all right? And I think together with all the people here, I think we can work together to create a bigger ecosystem for this, right? On the longer term, right? So this is one part of, there's a new player, new disruptor that going to impacting the Malaysia banking ecosystem. But what more interesting is that our central bank also thinking out a different strategy to help. Like I think Datuk Nora has spoken one part of things, right? She gave me a task to talk about how do we help the underserved customer, right? So I think along the same line, I think central bank have taking an initiative. Can I have the next slide? They are going to they are in the midst of evaluating some of the new players that can get a new digital banking license, right? So based on the target, in first quarter of 2022, there will be 5 new licenses going to be issued by Bank Negara. And what does this mean, right? This means there's a lot of new opportunity in the markets for jobs, right? And the jobs that requirements is no longer your traditional job requirement, right? I think I just visited the Polytechnic website, right? One of the things that the Polytechnic is teaching is about design, right? And the UI UX design, user interface, user experience design, right? Going to be one of the key skills that is required. How do we solve the customer problem, right? And why central bank is coming out with digital banking license? Because our traditional bank are always leveraging on the high cost infrastructure, right? So how could some of these new players coming in to solve some of these particular challenges, right? And always, when it comes to a new solution, we need to always think about how are we solving a customer problem. I think that is one of the key, right? So I think one of the good example, I think is very inspiring story that Datuk Nora shared, right? About how Uber is not just helping people to get a ride, but it's helping people to save a marriage, right? And at the same time, gaining back the income that is required, right? So all the new technology and all the new solutions is focusing on helping customer pain point. And what I'm trying to share here is that you see there's so many players are trying to come in, right? And all of them have different advantages throughout the whole segment, like Axiata and ISP, right? Axiata is a traditional telco. ISP is a traditional bank. They come together, they might create something interesting, right? Axiata have a lot of data about you and me, right? And ISP have the know-how of managing credit risk, right? So therefore, they might be coming out of fantastic solutions. We don't know, right? I'm not sure you all know about Money Lion, right? Money Lion is another very, very inspiring story, right? They are actually a bank, a digital bank in United States, right? And they are serving about 7 million customers in United States. But what Money Lion is so special is their CTO is a Malaysian. The Chief Technology Officer is a Malaysian, okay? And their technology office is in Malaysia. right? So what does it mean? There's also a lot of opportunity, because why the CTO brought it back to Malaysia? Because he see that there's a talent in Malaysia that can bring the achievements back to the world, right? So I think there's a lot of good story that we can talk about here. All right, I think enough about the industry, right? But what is enabling and what is the important skill that we need to have for us to be successful in the digital banking, right? Can we have next slide, please? Yeah. So it's about data, right? So I think data is one of the core things that we need in the new era, right? So traditionally, it's how is that, we ask customer, hey, you want to apply a loan, can you please submit this income document to me? Can you submit different kind of informations? But in the new world, just take an example, Ant Financial, right? So the application is 3 minutes, the approval is just 1 second. And why is it so? Because they have leveraged heavily in the data that they collected from the customer, right? On your payment history, from how you interact in the platform, right? How you actually buying the stuff that you want, and so on. And with that, we can credit score you in a very instantly matter, right? And second thing is that because we know your behavior, we know what you like, right? We can curate the right offer to you. And all this is not because we want to know you better. What we want to is give you convenience. Just take an example of SME, right? On longer term, what we should be thinking about is that we should just let the customer focusing on doing their business. Basically, let's say they're opening an F&B, right? They just need to think about how to sell the best food, right? We as other organizations should come in to solve their problem, solving their cash flow issue, giving them support financially, right? Giving the right platform to sell, bring the right customer to them. And the business person can just focusing on build the right product. And all this only can happen if we bring the right data on board, right? So, but of course, a lot of people will challenge us, right? What is the data privacy? What is the data security? What is the cyber security measure that we have, right? And I think the important portion is that we as a bank, and we regulated by the regulator, right? We always hold the highest standard on data protections, right? I mean, I work with data scientists very closely in my current book scope, right? The data scientists always complain, why I need to get so much approval just to get access to data, right? My job is to play with data day in, day out. But again, we take it very seriously in protecting data. So yes, we need to leverage data, but at the same time, we need to protect our customer being manipulated or the data being leaked out to the industry, right? So I think that's the key thing. We should leverage on data, but again, we need to protect the data. But what does it mean for our audiences today, right? We need to think about, on top of your core skill, right, you need to understand about data and how we use data. And there's opportunity for everyone here. And there's huge demand in this space, right? Okay, I think I spoke about data. And I think the next thing is that, right? Can I have next slide? And this is the last slide before we go for Q&A, right? So, what else is out there? I mean, just share a interesting statistic for everyone, right? I'm not sure you all know about this or not, but that currently, right, when traditionally when the younger people go to cafe, go to your mama and whatnot, right? Traditionally people are talking about games, talking about sports. But now, right, if you're talking about go to all these places, all the younger generation are talking about, hey, which cryptocurrency you're buying now? Are you buying Bitcoin? And some people talk about Dogecoin, Litecoin, and so on, right? So the younger generation are a lot open in this space. Of course, we as a regulated entity, we are still try to understand this space. But again, this is no longer fairly true, right? Because you see, maybe can I have the next thing? Yeah. So there's already a lot of real life example that people are actually going into this space, right? I just take DBS as an example, right? DBS is our closest neighbor and one of the best banks in the world, right? So DBS already started their own digital exchange, right? But for now, the digital exchange doesn't open to everyone like us, right? They are currently only open up to the high net worth, right? But what does it mean? It's basically the bank really start thinking it might be a new asset class that is acceptable in the markets, right? So that might be going down later, right? And blockchain on top of it is I think cryptocurrency, a lot of people talking about volatility and whatnot. I think we put aside crypto, but the underlying technology blockchain is actually going to help a lot of transactions, right? Especially on your cross-border transactions. It's going to improve the way that the document verifications, the validity of transactions and stuff like that, which can enhance a lot of financial accessibility to all our people, right? But again, all this is still happening, it's brand new. This could be one of the area that we are predicting, right? Yeah, I think with that, Nafo, any questions from the audience? And with that, yeah.
Yes, Mr. Neil, we do have a couple of it actually. So, okay, this is something related about crypto, right? So, in the bank's opinion on crypto as future currency to be used in Malaysia. So, in your opinion, Mr. Neil.
Yeah. So I think this is a tough question, right? So, if you are a crypto enthusiast, you say it's safer, it's decentralized. No one know what I'm spending on, right? But we as a bank, I think we are still studying on this, experimenting on this, right? So number one is, I said, go back to the basic. A bank is always work on trust, right? So today you make a transactions, assuming you are making a transaction to buy a Starbucks, example, right? You pay 20 ringgit, but assuming someone have taken your credit card and spent on behalf of you, right? It's become a fraudulent transactions. And as a consumer, you always can call the bank and, hey, it's a fraudulent transactions. Can you pay back to me, right? So the bank will still go and investigate. If it's truly fraudulent, we will going to refund you. But when it comes to a cryptocurrency world, right, it's all fully decentralized, right? Can you go and blame a bank when there's a transactions mistake, right? I think this portion we are still finding a way to overcome this, right? Second portion of things itself is that all these wallet, I'm not sure you all tried the wallet before, right? Crypto wallets. So the crypto wallet is all based on a 12 phrase of password, right? So, and if you lost that 12 phrase of password, you're gone forever, right? Today, you got money gone from the bank, you still can complain to the bank, and the bank don't bother about you, you still have a central bank to complain about you, right? So I think that's the trust element we're not able to fully resolve. But having said that, there's a huge development in this current space of called central bank digital currency, right? So I think it just announced 3 weeks ago, Central Bank of Malaysia, Central Bank of Singapore, Central Bank of Australia, together with the Basel Committee. But Basel Committee is basically a world regulator looking after all the monetary stuff, right? They're going to run a POC on central bank digital currency, right? So if there is opportunity to become mainstream, but I think it's something that we still need to look into on longer term, right? Yeah, hope that answered the questions.
Yes, Mr. Neil. So we have another one question. How can we assure that certain e-wallet is safe, Mr. Neil?
How do we ensure certain e-wallet are safe? Okay,
there's always a stigma on this, right?
This is a tough question, right? I think the e-wallet issued by a bank, we are following the highest standard, right? So I think that's the easy answer for that. But again, to the rest of the wallet, the question is how much money you are putting in right now, right? I don't think most of us are putting a lot of money. But on top of that, I think just want to give an assurance to all the to talk about the industry player. All of them are, if you are issuing an e-wallet, right, is actually all regulated by central bank e-money license, right? So there's a certain reporting that you need to do, and rest assured, Bank Negara do annual audits in all these e-wallet player to ensure they fulfill all the regulation, including your cybersecurity. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Okay, we have one more last question. So, the question is, okay, this is a bit confusing. So, This is from Alston Yo actually. So since blockchain is talking about decentralization, so what is the role of bank since bank is centralization? So is it bank no longer needed in future?
Okay, so it's back to my first point, right? So maybe before I go back to my first point, think about why cryptocurrency coming in the first place, right? So cryptocurrency coming into the first place is after 2008 Lehman Brothers fall down. It's called one of the great financial crises, right? It created a lot of distrust into the current financial system, right? So of course, a group of smart people come together. Until today, we don't know who is the founder of Bitcoin, right? Although there's a name, but we don't know who exactly is he, right? Or she, in that sense, right? But so because there's a group of people that have a distrust of the current financial system, so therefore they think about a decentralized ecosystem is a fantastic one, whereby you and me are responsible to that, right? So this is only applicable for certain people who understand the technology well, right? Whereby you know how to maintain the security of your password, how do you leverage on the technology to do transaction and whatnot. But again, go to the layman, right? Do you know what is blockchain? Do you really know how to manage the transaction yourself, right? So if you look into the main street in the market today, right, all the transaction of cryptocurrency, they are still going through what you call the exchange, right? So in Malaysia, I think there's 5 approved exchange by Security Commission. This is also in line with another question down there, how to buy Bitcoin legally, right? You can go to Luno, and then there's another 2 more, I forgot the name, but I mean, I personally tried Luno, right? So Luno is an approved cryptocurrency exchange. So what does it mean? When you go through exchange, it becomes a centralized again. And why the layman like to go to a centralized place, right? It's because if you have any issue, you still can complain to someone. This is back to the human behavior, right? And why DBS are going into the business of digital exchange? Because the rich people want someone to be able to manage the cryptocurrency on behalf of them, right? So is the decentralization is a fantastic idea, right? It's a fantastic idea, but most of the laymen cannot understand how it actually works in that sense. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Neo, for the explanation just now, and what a wonderful presentation, Mr. Neo. Very well designed and prepared, of course. Informational too, and loving the quote as well. Banking is necessary, banks are not. It is so relatable with being digital pervasive. Thank you, Mr. Neo. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, with the end of the walkthroughs of all the topics shared to all of you today, we believe that it carries some weights on our perceptions towards women leadership and empowerment, our views on the opportunities and challenges post-pandemic with SME entrepreneurship, and of course, our adaptation on the future of banking. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we are thanking you for your time and we hope to see you again. But before we let you go, first of all, we'd like to thank you, the panelists, thank you, academias, thank you, JPPKK team, and thank you, everyone. Before we let you go, please do us a little favor by filling in the online feedback form to help us improve better in our next engagement. So, admin, would you please flash the QR code for the participant to scan, please? All right, thank you very much. So, in the meantime, all panelists, you may leave the call as you wish. So to all of you who are seated in this call, there will be 2 QR code for you to scan. We much appreciate it if you can spend a little bit of your time to fill in the information on both of the QR code. Yeah. So okay. Remember about the Starbucks that we are talking about. So we have few names over here. So to all these names, please contact Encik Hafiz at 012-665-1205. I repeat, Encik Hafiz number 012-665-1205. Yeah, okay. The first name is Irsaida, belum makan. And then we have Hidayah, makan lempeng. We have Nur Ain, jagung rebus. And we have Nur Atika, cake secret recipe. We have Priscilia makan nasi ayam, and Daniel makan hati. Muhammad Nur Syahiran, saya belum buka akaun Maybank, so please do it now. So don't waste any more of time, pergi buat sekarang. So and then Dahlia all the way from Mukah, Ainur and Zakia both from Norton. So all these names, kindly please call Cik Hafiz to the number. Again, I repeat, the number is 012-665-1205.
1205.
So okay, all right everyone, thank you and stay safe.
665 1205.
Yep, and also if you all of you
665
try to fill in the M100 for students as well, yeah. So the QR code, yep, the QR code is being flashed for you right. It's being flashed to you right now. So please scan the QR code for the M100. Thank you.
Okay. Same with me, from me, Cik Nafal. So thank you for everybody. Okay.
Thank you so much, Cik Amin. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you, Amin, and thank you for everyone from team JPPKK this morning.
Yeah.
Okay, give us a little bit of time. We're going to share to you the link of the QR code as well, yeah? You're most welcome, Farwansa, Faruka. I'm glad to be the host and master of ceremony of this engagement. Okay, nombor telefon dia berbunyi. Yes, 012-665-1205. Correct. Yes, Atika, you are right. You're most welcome, Daniel. Yes, correct. In the midst of rushing to the malls as well. So, but here in KL, we are still not allowed to. There's a certain numbers of people only can enter. So I hope that I got a place. So if you have captured all the, if you have put in all the information required on the QR code, you can leave at your own sweet time, yeah? And we are thanking you for your time in attending this engagement and session as well. You're most welcome. You're most welcome, Jusrul Rizal. Okay, great. Jabatan means your current role, current jabatan. But if you're a student, you go down a bit. There's a student punya section. Looks like I pula yang macam tengah menjawab soalan sekarang ni. Tadi panel menjawab kan? QR code link please. So which one, Ashirin? Which one? Good question, Syairan. Macam mana nak dapat voucher tadi? Peluang keemasan anda sudah terlepas. Yep. Hazaliana, this is the one. You just scan the QR code. Okay, Annie, you can just leave it blank. If you don't have to the option include Jabatan, just leave it blank. Okay, claim dekat Encik Hafiz. Okay. Ada. There's a submit button down there. If it required to jawab the grade, just put student. Boleh tak? Are you all yang kena voucher Starbucks ni integrity tau. Kita check kat kita punya nama-nama mereka, nama-nama semua ni. Okay, Muhammad Asri Rosli. Boleh call Cik Hafiz 012 send WhatsApp kat dia 012-665-1205. So this is QR code for students, Raja Muti. You can scan the QR code. Yes, I know, joking. Don't take heart. We still have over 300 people in this call. You're memang tak nak keluar ke macam mana ni? Like very engaging macam tak sabar-sabar nak tunggu apa berlaku seterusnya. But dah habis dah session tu. You can just leave in your own sweet time after you fill up all the information dalam QR code tu, especially on the M100.
Oh, lepas ni you buat menti survey on lunch pula. Apa nak makan lunch?
Betul. Macam-macam jenis makanan tadi keluar. Okay, since that ramai yang cakap cannot submit, actually we are rectifying, also we are looking at the hiccups yang kita encounter sekarang ni. Okay, so kalau you all perasan, Puan Murni Zawati Abdul tu ada share that link, so you can just click on the link. Let me just reshare it again. So you think it's 16? Okay, everyone, we are thanking you for your time, and we shall see you soon in another engagement, we hope. And then, okay, stay safe, everyone. So we're going to end this webinar right now. Thank you. Oh, I dapat kredit lah, Puan Malin. Thank you, Mr. Nafan. Nice voice.